thank you to the organizers for inviting me to take part in this. This has been a really fascinating day. I was only able to come in the afternoon, so I'm sorry I missed the presentations in the morning. But one of the things that strikes me as an anthropologist who's worked for the past 18 years on the island of New Guinea, a place that is quite literally the place that many people think about when they think, oh, anthropology, that happens in New Guinea, along with lots of other things. One of the things that strikes me is that I never planned on being an applied anthropologist. Like many people, I was trained in a very academic department. And you know, when you graduate from graduate school, you kind of get on this roller coaster that is early academic life as a professor, and you're driven in many ways by the institution where you end up to do particular kinds of work and to talk about your work using particular kinds of languages and particular kinds of rhetoric. And I don't know if people here, if everyone knows that Barnard College, while not a part of Columbia University, is a part of Columbia University, where in fact faculty are tenured at Columbia University. And so I ended up in an anthropology department where in many ways talking about applied anthropology for a junior scholar would have been the kiss of death. I probably wouldn't have gotten tenure. And so I never talked about the fact that from almost day one in Papua New Guinea, I worked with the indigenous people that I spend time with in incredibly collaborative and what I would think of as applied ways. And I want to talk just really briefly about two tiny things that I've been doing for a while, one of which is unspeakable until you get tenure. So the unspeakable thing is that in about 2004, working with some colleagues of mine from Papua New Guinea, I founded an NGO. And that NGO is called the Papua New Guinea Institute of Biological Research. And I say this with no hubris because it's not about me, it's about my Papua New Guinean colleagues. We are totally awesome. We do the best thing in the world. So we noticed over the course of all of us doing lots of research in PNG that there wasn't the same kind of training for young Papua New Guinean scientists and anthropologists who wanted to go on after their undergraduate careers to get masters and PhDs. And one of the reasons is because the University of Papua New Guinea has been drastically underfunded since the 1980s. And so we decided, well, so why don't we just top up these UPNG degrees? So why don't we start a program where we bring young scholars to spend time with us and to learn how to do research in a way that their very busy faculty at UPNG don't really have time to teach them. UPNG faculty often teach 7 courses a semester. So we started this NGO, and we have these extraordinary young people who have moved through our program. We have 17 PhDs. We have 17 people who probably wouldn't have gotten a chance otherwise to go on and study everything from anthropology to ornithology to we have a wonderful woman who's getting a PhD in some kind of medical research that I don't understand at Case Western University, who was just highlighted yesterday in this massive thing that Case Western did about indigenous research. And I tell you that story by way of saying that it never occurred to me in working with these colleagues that I was doing applied anthropology. It never struck me that I was doing anything except what was morally and ethically the thing that I wanted to do. And then the other thing I wanted to do, just maybe to segue to Brian, is Brian and I have spent a lot of time together this week, in part because we both have these projects that are working on cultural preservation. And some years ago in the islands, I have 2 sites in PNG, one in the highlands, one on the coast. And some years ago on the coast, people who know Papua New Guinea will know Maligan. Maligan carvers came to myself and one of my colleagues and said, so we're losing this tradition and we really think you guys need to figure out how to help us not lose it. And so not only did I never thought I would do applied anthropology, I certainly never thought I would do cultural preservation. And so we working together with these Maligan carvers got a grant to do Maligan preservation. And so the 6 living carvers, there are only 6 guys left that do this, these 6 living carvers are working with us and students at Barnard and Columbia to establish a kind of digital repatriation project to help young carvers in PNG learn how to carve. And so I think one of the things for me is that we never know where our career is going to take us, and so many people who never talk about it do these kinds of projects that I think we would all think of as very applied.